what's good, guys? This is Inswain with Inswain Audio. Thank you for stopping by. Today, we got the Trippie Red vocal tutorial. So if you want to sound like Trippie Red, make sure to stick around. I'll show you how to do it. Specifically on the song 1400/999 Freestyle. How do you even read that title out loud? Anyways, let's jump into it. Alright, first things first, what I'll do is I'll play you the original song so we can kind of get familiar with what I'm working with here.
All that bullshit for the burn. Keep that shit right to the curb. I keep the drink like a clerk. Dealing with pain I deserve.
Alright, cool. Now I'll show you my mix and you can see what I did to make it sound like that.
All that bullshit for the burn. Keep that shit right to the curb. I keep the drink like a clerk. Dealing with pain I deserve.
Alright, dope. Now I'll play you the raw vocals so you can hear what I started with.
All that bullshit for the burn. Keep that shit right to the curb. I keep the drink like a clerk. Dealing with pain I deserve.
Alright, so how did I do it? Let's show you. First things first, I went into auto-tune, got low male, F sharp minor, 25 retune speed, 15 flex tune, 15 humanize. Let's hear it.
All that bullshit for the burn. Keep that shit right to the curb. I keep the drink like a clerk. Dealing with pain I deserve.
Next thing, some EQ. I used the FabFilter Pro Q3. I did a low cut of 12 dBs per octave up to 162. I did a little cut at 237 of 0.86 dBs with another 0.7 dBs of dynamics below that. Then at 615, all the way up to 615, I got a low shelf of 1.8 dBs. And then 772, I took out 2.10 dBs. 1282, I took out 1.53. 1613, I took out 1.8. I added some brightness at about 8K, 8215. I added 1.5 dBs. But it reduces by 8.4 dBs of dynamics if there is a lot of excitement going there. And then I got a high shelf of 7.5 dBs at about 1600. Let's hear it.
All that bullshit for the burn. Keep that shit right to the curb. I keep the drink like a clerk. Dealing with pain I deserve.
All right, first compressor, like always. I used the Wave CLA 76 on the Bluey setting. I used a 12 ratio. Release is 7, attack is 2.96. There's the input and output, but as I always say, that depends on your gain staging, so watch the needle.
All that bullshit for the burn. Keep that shit right to the curb. I keep the drink like a clerk. Dealing with pain I deserve.
All right, next compressor, I use the Waves RVox, tried and true, simple compressor. I got the compression as -6.2 and the gain is -3.7 to compensate for the volume. Let's hear it.
All that bullshit for the burn. Keep that shit right to the curb. I keep the drink like a clerk. Dealing with pain I deserve.
All right, next up, I got the Kazrog True Iron. On the voicing, I got 1166A, and that's all I did. That's all I touched. Crush is 0%. Just a little bit of analog saturation here. Let's hear it.
All that bullshit for the burn. Keep that shit right to the curb. I keep the drink like a clerk. Dealing with pain I deserve.
All right, next up, we got the Waves Puig Tech EQ1PA. EQP1A. Sorry, it's... Yeah, anyways, Pultec emulation, you can use anyone that you want. So for the low frequency, it's set to 100. I'm boosting a dB and cutting 1.8 dBs. The bandwidth is 3. For the high frequencies, I'm at 16K. For boosting 6.5 of that. And then I'm attenuating 20K for 5.1 dBs. So let's hear that.
All that bullshit for the burn. Keep that shit right to the curb. I keep the drink like a clerk. Dealing with pain I deserve.
Sounds great. That plugin is crazy, the Pultec ones. Then I went into the FabFilter Saturn 2 saturation plugin, multi-band. I got 2 bands. And everything below 720, I'm using a warm tube, 18.11% drive, 0.425 dynamics, and the mix knob is at 38.11%. For my second band, everything above 720, I got heavy saturation with a 3.7% drive, dynamics is 0.035, mix is 30.93%. But on our global controls here, I got the global mix, the mix knob of all of this, dialed down to 31.27%. So let's hear it.
All that bullshit for the burn. Keep that shit right to the curb. I keep the drink like a clerk. Dealing with pain I deserve.
Dope. Then I went into one that I don't use too often on vocals. I got the API 2500 from Waves. I'm not using the analog. I got a threshold of -3.19. My attack is 0.1 milliseconds, or I guess it'd be 0.1 second. It's on 0.1. Ratio, my brain's not working right now. Ratio is 3:1. Release is 0.2. I got the knee, a hard knee. It's on normal for tone. You can see everything there. Let's hear it.
All that bullshit for the burn. Keep that shit right to the curb. I keep the drink like a clerk. Dealing with pain I deserve.
Then we went into the overloud gem dopamine. just adding some brightness to the vocal. You can see there's where the wet knob is. Used a little bit of compression and then pulled the level down to compensate.
All that bullshit for the burn. Keep that shit right to the curb. I keep the drink like a clerk. Dealing with pain I deserve.
You can really hear it on the consonants, like K that bullshit to the curb, like those hard consonants. You can really hear it cutting through with that. So I like what that did. Then I went into the Waves VEQ4. At 390, I boosted 0.5. At 1.5K, I cut 1.3. And that's it. I have the analog knob on. Let's hear it.
All that bullshit for the burn. Keep that shit right to the curb. I keep the drink like a clerk. Dealing with pain I deserve.
Oh, I should mention the output was at negative 0.1. So turned down a little bit. Probably can't even notice. Then I went into the Waves Magma Lil Tube. Sensitivity is on soft. The drive is on 3. And the output is at 0. Just left it how it is. So a little bit of warmth here. Let's hear it.
All that bullshit for the burn. Keep that shit right to the curb. I keep the drink like a clerk. Dealing with pain I deserve.
Dope. Last plugin here. One that I don't use. This might be the first time I ever used it. Maybe 1, 2, 3 times. I don't use this, but I needed a certain type of saturation on a certain band. And I was trying Saturn and stuff, and it wasn't quite what I needed. So I went to this. It worked great. I'm probably going to use it more now because of that. But anyways, I got a little band here between 5.1K and 9.4K. That's the only area we're saturating. I'm using the dual triode, 5.1 amount, and then the mix is dialed down to 18.3%. And yeah, that's it. Let's hear it.
All that bullshit for the burn. Keep that shit right to the curb. I keep the drink like a clerk. Dealing with pain I deserve.
It's that sizzle in his voice that was in the original that I needed. That was what I was lacking at this point, and that's all I needed. So yeah, I used that plugin to get it. Got to make things happen sometimes. All right, for the sends. First send at negative 40.9. We are using an exciter, but I used it in 3 different plugins. So here's how I did it. First, I went into the FabFilter Pro Q3. Because we're on a send, I threw it in linear phase mode. I did a low cut. You can see the settings here. Below like 5500, and then I cut above 8300. And you can see the settings there. So I'm just leaving this little band here between like 5 and 8K because that's what I wanted to saturate. So I removed everything else, if that makes sense. Then I went into my saturator. I got the Waves Vintage Oral Exciter. It's a mouthful. Here's my settings if you want to copy them. It's a nice exciter that can be too aggressive on the actual chain, so I throw it on a send. And then with all of this, band filtered saturation here, I wanted to compress it. So I used the Waves MV2 with a 5.2 on the low level, negative 10.3 on the high level, and then I pulled the output way down to negative 16.9 to blend it in with the original signal. So let's hear that. This is very subtle, but it was some of that saturation that I needed.
All that bullshit for the burn. Keep that shit right to the curb. I keep the drink like a clerk. Dealing with pain I deserve.
And that just goes to show you, like, sometimes you got to problem solve and do a combination of things. I've never before used those 3 plugins in that way, in that combination. But I had a sound in my mind that I needed to get to. I knew what tools I had and what they sound like, and I used them in a creative way to get what I needed. So got the job done. Second send, negative 19.5. Manny Marroquin reverb. Room, medium, got a time of 135.3%. No pre-delay. Compression is at 13.5, highs 16.4, mids 10.8, lows 14.5. I feel like I'm saying the weather when I do that. I'm like, low of this, high of that. Anyways, no distortion, nothing else. Let's hear it.
All that bullshit for the burn. Keep that shit right to the curb. I keep the drink like a clerk. Dealing with pain I deserve.
Nice. Third send, negative 22.9. Got the Waves H-Verb. Started with the medium hall preset. There is the settings that I may or may not have changed. Everything else will be the same. You can copy them. Here's what it sounds like.
All that bullshit for the burn. Keep that shit right to the curb. I keep the drink like a clerk. Dealing with pain I deserve.
All right, fourth send, negative 26.2. Another Waves H-Verb. This time we started with the large plate preset. And once again, here are the settings. Feel free to copy them. Most of it I leave untouched. Let's hear it.
All that bullshit for the burn. Keep that shit right to the curb. I keep the drink like a clerk. Dealing with pain I deserve.
All right, fifth send and final send, negative 31.9. Got the Logic stock flanger. You can use any sort of flanger chorus modulation plugin you want. This is very subtle. I got the rate of 1.0 hertz, 100% intensity, 1% feedback, 100% mix. And like I said, it's on a send, so we're blending it in with the original signal. It's just adding some 3-dimension and width to the vocal and some kind of movement-y sauce type of thing. Just makes the vocal feel more it fits into the instrumental a little better. But it's super subtle. You kind of just feel it, don't hear it, but let's try and hear it.
All that bullshit for the burn. Keep that shit right to the curb. I keep the drink like a clerk. Dealing with pain I deserve.
There you have it, Trippie Red. Now what I'll do is I'll play you the original so we can hear that again.
All that bullshit for the burn. Keep that shit right to the curb. I keep the drink like a clerk. Dealing with pain I deserve.
Alright, now I'll play you the raw vocals so you can hear what we started with and see how far we came.
All that bullshit for the burn. Keep that shit right to the curb. I keep the drink like a clerk. Dealing with pain I deserve.
Alright, and like we always do, what I'll do is I'll play you the original in mine, back and forth in real time. I'll A-B them back and forth while it's playing so you can hear them, starting with the original.
All that bullshit for the burn. Keep that shit right to the curb. I keep the drink like a clerk. Dealing with pain I deserve.
There you have it, guys. That is how you sound like Trippie Red, specifically on the song 1400/999 Freestyle. Roast me in the comments on how you actually say that. Like, I don't know. Don't blame me. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just the mixing engineer. Anyways, guys, thank you for sticking around. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, name your firstborn child after me, all that. In my description, there's my socials. Tap in, say what's up. You know what I mean? I'm nice. Some of you guys have been hitting me up. I really appreciate that and the kind words. Still up to talk to y'all. Anyways, if you need custom templates, if you're like, yo, I want to sound like this person, or can I sound like this? I do custom templates for the low, so hit me up. I also do mixing and mastering, all that, blah, blah, blah. You guys don't care. Tap in with me if you need. If not, really, thank you guys for sticking around. Plenty more to come. My name is Inswain with Inswain Audio. Peace.